Good evening, Facebook. Good evening, YouTube. So, day 29, I was just sitting here thinking, I actually don't know what to speak about today. I was kind of like thinking, should I speak about this, speak about this? And then I just thought, no, I'm just going to share what's going on very briefly before I go. And it's just this kind of feeling, I suppose, today of all the feelings. All the feelings are coming up. And I know there's a lot of weird energetic shifting happening right now, but I'm definitely feeling it. I am feeling all sorts of everything, and it's like it's almost like got nothing to do with like reality external. It's more to do with just inside internal stuff coming up. It's really strange. Lots of like flashbacks to previous times. It's really strange. It's not stressful or anything, or it's not anything bad. It's just there's a lot of energy moving, I think. So I was just kind of feeling into that today. So in case you have anything similar going on, know that there's a lot of that happening right now for a lot of people. We're kind of shifting and processing a lot. So sometimes when that happens, we kind of, well, this is sometimes what I do. It's like sometimes we try, I try and find, why am I feeling like this? Like, what is the reason? Like, what is it related to? Like, what do I need to know or shift or grow? But actually, a lot of the time, it's just feeling, and just letting the feelings be and letting them come up. And that's what we're not taught, right? We're never taught about how to do that. Like, how the hell do we do that? And what we're typically taught growing up is how to avoid our feelings. Particularly here in the UK, we're very good at like stiff upper lip and carrying on and pretending that everything's fine. The mantra here is, hello, how are you? Oh, I'm fine, thanks. How are you? Oh, I'm fine, thanks. How are you? That's how people typically relate to each other. So it's like we don't get taught this, right? And then often when we do feel things, we reach for things to try and numb it out or distract. Sometimes could be alcohol, drugs, work, whatever, TV. There's a million things, exercise, going to the gym. There's all sorts of ways we numb out, and sometimes we just don't let ourselves feel. So I'm pretty accustomed to this now, from all the I did a lot of therapy and a lot of like work on this. I've like done it for the kind of last decade, maybe. Yeah, I'd say decade now, like in depth. So I'm pretty used to it. But even I sometimes have to remind myself, I don't have to figure out what this means and why I'm feeling these feelings. They're just feelings and they're just being processed. So I wanted to share that with you because sometimes we don't know. We need the reminder. Oh, hey, Darren, having deja vu often, recently, and thinking about my past more than normal. That's exactly what's going on for me. Yeah, very in touch with emotions when alone. Yeah, so there's a lot of old energies coming up, and the more that we work on ourselves, I say work on ourselves, I mean like the more that we're connected to ourselves and the more that we're on this journey, we're going to shift, right, in our vibration and our frequency and our energy. And then it's when we're in this place that we have space for the old stuff to come through. And you can find yourself sometimes when you've gone through lots of things, you find a bit of a peace, or like a leveling out of where you are. That's exactly when some of the past stuff will come in. So it's not that it's getting worse or that something's gone wrong. It's actually a really, really positive thing, because it just means you've got space, right, to think about the past. You're having emotions come up, to process them. I was just having some random, it wasn't even anything like big or spectacular, because like I said, I've definitely done a lot of like clearing and healing and processing and all of that, but there's still things that come up, and it wasn't even anything particular today, but I just felt like I kind of felt anxiety in the body, and then I kind of felt like sadness. It wasn't even attached to anything, but I could just, if I had to ask myself like, what is it, I could name it. Like, I'm sad, I'm like irritated, I'm tired, I'm fed up with the world, right? Or just had enough, like I'm intolerant to certain things I'm seeing on the internet or whatever, right? Things that usually I'd let roll off me, things like that. So I was just kind of being with it today. Definitely felt more tired. So when you're going through this, just know that it does take energy to process emotions and things like that. But emotions aren't bad as well. So if you just meet your emotions as like your friends, You know, sometimes some are easier to be around than others, right? But just if you just name them and start practicing, like, what is this feeling? Sometimes we don't even, maybe we don't always clearly name our emotions, or we don't know what they feel like. If you can't name the emotion, it doesn't matter. You can just notice where it is in your body. This is sometimes when I get a little bit, I don't know what the hell I feel. I feel all the things. I'll just notice like earlier I just noticed like I had tension in my shoulders, in my back. It wasn't even, nothing happened. It was just, I felt tension and I could just name it. And then the next thing I typically says to myself is, okay, well, what would help me right now? What do I need right now? Sometimes it's, you need to go for a walk. You need to call someone and speak to them. You need to be alone. You know, you need to just, sometimes it is to switch off though, and just watch something to take the pressure off. But sometimes that is a distraction, and sometimes what we need to do is just sit with the feeling, like whatever it is that you need, and there's no right or wrong. But no, there's a lot right now. There is a lot shifting, and I am feeling it all today. I really am. I felt exhausted yesterday for no reason I could think of. Yeah. So nothing's going wrong at all. Don't worry. And this is common. This is so common right now, and it doesn't surprise me because I know you're on this journey of massive growth and like elevating and shifting and everything, and a lot of things are changing for you. And when you're in a part of the life where things are shifting and moving, you are shifting and moving, so your body is holding so much right now. So don't worry, know that you're definitely on track. It's a really good sign that you're shifting and moving. So for anyone watching the replay, you feel great today. Yeah, it's a bit schizophrenic, isn't it? So I feel like really kind of extreme. I can have moments, like literally within the same couple of hours, I can feel really magical and lit up about life. This is just recently. And then I can feel really sad, or I can see something and I'm like, I can feel it deeply. Today I felt really, I think I saw something earlier. Yeah, I saw something earlier about someone questioning why they're always feeling unwell. They can't seem to shake certain things off. I knew exactly what it was, because I just know, I have a knowing about certain things. And I felt sad. I felt sad for maybe what was going on for that person. She didn't really see the link, couldn't connect the dots. If you understand what I'm saying, you'll understand what I'm saying right now. It was sad, right? And yeah, and I felt that. And then I felt sad for humanity. I felt really annoyed. I felt like anger come up, some more anger that I hadn't processed from maybe a couple of years ago. A lot came up in 2020, and I just felt like all these feelings were moving through my body, you know, and it's very intense. I feel it very intensely. But then equally, half an hour later, I can go back to like, I feel so expansive and feel so amazing. And that's tiring. It's really tiring. So I'm just kind of moving through it, feeling myself through it. I suggest you do the same. And if you just relax around this, I guess it's like, it's a bit unstable maybe, but they're just feelings, you know, they move. And I always, like, when I teach my clients, sometimes literally I teach people how to feel. I had to do that as well. My therapist taught me, but I do that with people. And I remember speaking to many clients where I explain, like, emotions are like waves. They just come in, they don't stay. Sometimes it feels like they're never going to go away. They come in and then they go out again. And then they might come in a little bit like milder and they go out. It might come in like a really big wave and then it goes out. But if you know that when it comes in, it goes out, you can just ride the wave and you don't have to attach to it so greatly. You just know, oh, I'm shifting emotions right now. It doesn't have to mean anything. And then the more that you allow yourself to feel it, it actually moves back out a lot easier. It's when we have the emotion that's difficult, and then on top of that we have the judgment around, why am I feeling like this? I shouldn't feel like this. I should have been over it by now, and this shouldn't get me. And then we've got another load, and then it kind of gets a bit stuck. So if we take off the judgment and just say, oh, the raw emotion is whatever, I'm in it, I give myself permission, it will just flow out a lot easier. And I've definitely experienced that over many, many years now. And when I work with people, they've experienced the same. So just see it as a wave, and then it's okay. And actually, if you're in a like an emotional state, I dramatize it. I just allow myself now. I'm like, I'm gonna have a bath, and then I'm gonna pick a movie that I can get really like I can just cry at, right? Just to kind of move the emotions, or I get a movie that I can get really riled up at. You know, I play with the energies, and actually, you can sort of when you do that, you're doing it from a conscious place, and then you're not ruled by your emotions. You're just going, I feel the emotions, and I'm just going to let them be there, and when they're ready, they'll go. And you can almost just play it up a little bit. It actually really helps. I really like doing that, because I get into the drama of my own self sometimes. I don't inflict it on anyone else, but it's like I just feel myself very moved by things, and then I'll play music, and then I'll really feel it. Like I really allow myself to go there, and it really helps, and then you don't judge it. So I feel some very strong sad moments for no reason, just hits me. Yeah, music or movie, etc., just makes me upset. Then another time, happy as ever and content. Yeah, so pick the thing, right? So for you, maybe it doesn't help you. Other things you need, right? It just depends on where you are and what you feel. But let's just take the judgment out of it, because this is the thing. There is no like we talk about positive emotions are happy and joyful and loving, and then we've got like negative emotions supposedly that are like sadness and anger, and we make those ones wrong and these ones right, but actually that's bullshit, and that's very misleading. Just see it as a circle. You've got all these different emotions. Some feel heavier, some feel lighter. Sometimes we have these ones, sometimes we have those ones. If we don't attach to them, we just allow them to move. We just allow them to move. So we don't get like emotionally constipated, right? We just let it flow. You can check in with yourself. Do I know why? Is it to do with this? If you don't know why, then that's okay as well. Yeah, I ask myself why I am feeling sad as I really am not. So I ask myself why I am feeling sad as I really am not. Oh yeah, so like you're feeling the sad, but you've got no reason, like what? Yeah, so it might just be, this is the thing, you don't have to attach to it, you don't have to know. Like what if you just know you're feeling sad? There's no reason out there. There's nothing happened, no one said anything to you, nothing's happening in your reality. You just feel sad. Sometimes the sad could come from 5 years ago. Could come from when you were 3 years old. You don't know, it could come from last week. It's just processing. And I just, another way I put it to some of my clients is I kind of say it as, it's like what did I say to my client? Yeah, like an emotional paperwork, right? It's like an emotional backlog of paperwork. So you just haven't filed away your papers. There's just a bit of an accumulation. So what you're doing is you're just kind of doing your emotional paperwork. You're just catching up. And sometimes we're catching up with some emotions that we just never had time to feel, process, right? That's why you can process something that happened to you 30 years ago. It's never too late. So we're just processing things. You don't have to know why. You don't have to question yourself. It can help sometimes to say, oh, do I know what's causing me sadness? Because sometimes it's something that's happened today and you can just connect with it and then it helps. But often, and I'm finding this recently, it's just a wave. I don't know. It's just there. I feel like I could cry maybe in that moment, or I feel like I want to be quiet, and it just comes in. I let myself feel it. It doesn't stay that long when you let yourself, and then it flows out. And if you want to be a bit dramatic with it, be a bit dramatic with it. So sometimes I do that. I like it because I don't attach to it the way that I used to. I used to say, why am I so depressed? What's wrong with me? It's like, I know nothing's wrong with me, and I know nothing's wrong with you. So all the feelings are allowed. And you know, the good thing about this is the more you let yourself have all the feelings, including anger, sadness, despair, frustration, pissed offness, whatever you want to call it, the more you allow that and you don't cut those off, the more you actually access joy, love, magic, amazing feelings. Because if you cut your feelings off to keep away the heavier ones, you're actually cutting off the good ones, right? It's like how antidepressants, no judgment on any of you if you're watching this and you take antidepressants, I'm just using it as an example. When it kind of cuts off the feelings that we don't want to have, I've had a lot of clients, they've described they can't quite access the joy. There's just a kind of flatness, right? So emotions they're all encompassing. we don't just cut off some and allow some, allow the whole lot. Big wave that comes in. Sometimes it's neat, sometimes it's messy, sometimes it's like a tsunami, sometimes it's like a little lake. It's okay. Feel what we need to feel, you know, it's okay. I think it's grief of losing mum, dad, animals, and then missing Claire. Yeah, but it is strange as it just jumps in 1 second and gone 10 seconds later. That's great, because that, you know what that means? It's moving. That's your wave. It comes in, you feel it a little bit, maybe that's enough, it goes out, it comes in whenever you feel. I had some grief coming up recently, maybe in the last like week, very recently, just about the changes in relationships in the last few years around friendships and some family members. And I just kind of, my mind was going over how different it is now, and how I used to have like this whole load of people here and they're not here anymore for various different reasons. And I felt the grief come up around that, even though I felt like I dealt with it. I dealt with it before. It came in another wave. I felt a lot of sadness around some of those relationships, that they're just not here anymore. So it does, it, you know, it can come in. So let's just make it okay. And it is okay. It is absolutely okay. We're not designed and created to be happy, chirpy, 24/7 and not feel anything else. We are complex, we're human, and our human bodies, doesn't matter how bloody ascended or conscious or aware people think they are, our human bodies are designed to feel everything. And this is what we're on the planet, to feel our way through a lot of what's going on. So yeah, it is perfect. Okay, so I send you so much love. Everything is okay. Feel what you've got to feel. Laugh, cry, shout, whatever you need. The difference is about whether you're taking it out on another person. That's a different thing. And of course, I'm not suggesting that, but I'm talking about taking responsibility for, like, we feel this, we're not in a great space, right? So it's just allowing yourself. I'm okay with it. Happens often. Just don't understand why it happens. Yeah. So why? It's because you're the more space you have inside. So this could be you're vibrating higher, you've just cleared a lot, you've made changes, you've got more space inside, so you've got this space, and then the old stuff just has space to pop in, feel it, process, release, then you something else. So the more space. So often when I work with people, let's say they've done a lot of clearing, releasing, changing their lives, transforming, if they have some older stuff, it's going to come in and make itself known, because you've got space. So it's a really great thing, because it means you've got space finally to actually feel it. Imagine when you're stressed out and in your head and you're on the kind of treadmill, you don't process it. That was me, right? I was working, going, juggling everybody and everything, my own emotions. I just put them over there, had a few vodkas, numbed out, told myself I was fine, lived in the head. So there was no time. When I got ill and I had to stop, and you may be going through this, like you've got this period of, you've stopped all the outside stuff that you did before, you've made changes, you've got space, and this is why it's coming in. So it's a really great sign. So the more that things are coming up, it's because you've got space, and because your body says, let's process them so we can release them, and we don't need to take the baggage, right? Yeah, you feel that. Okay, good. I'm so glad, because that's exactly why. So it's perfect. It's perfect. This is part of the process. So it's wonderful when you're there, because it means you've got space, and it means your body just wants to digest and process the emotions the same way as our body digests and processes the food. What happens if we don't? We feel really clogged and uncomfortable, right? And bloated. So it's the same with our emotions. We feel overloaded. We're carrying a load of baggage around. The more we process, feel, release, the lighter we are. And then we move forward in life. You have new opportunities, new experiences, new vibrations, new people come into your life. It is a magnificent thing. So I'm really pleased that you feel that. And any of you watching know that if you're in emotional turmoil right now, or you feel a bit schizophrenic and a bit all over the place, and you're feeling everything, this is good. It's a good thing. So just breathe, take baths, have showers, curl up in a blanket, watch movies, listen to music, dance, punch a pillow, whatever you need to do. Just allow yourself to feel it, no judgment. Okay, so you are welcome. Thanks for joining me. I'm going to go now. and just chill out myself. It's the kind of evening now, yeah. So yeah, I'll be back here tomorrow. Don't know what time. See how I feel tomorrow, yeah, because it's all very changeable. So I send you lots of love. Yeah, cuddle your dogs. Yes, that is the best thing. I miss my cat, Will. I was thinking about it. Yeah, that's one of the things that came in actually this week. I was like, I felt really sad all of a sudden again about, I just wanted to pick him up and stroke him and hold him and have him dribble on me, and how he always used to dribble. And he was a very wise cat, and our pets and our fur babies are just, if you've got them with you, then yeah, just love them and enjoy that time, right? Because it's beautiful. So I'm glad you have that. Yes, I do it in my mind. Sometimes when I miss him, I just go in my mind and I spend 5-10 minutes literally picking him up, stroking him. I can feel how his fur feels. I know his energy. I feel it, and I actually do that, and I feel better. I feel really nice afterwards. I feel soothed. So we can go there energetically sometimes. You know, if you miss animals or people or whatever, you can still communicate. And I do that. And if there's anyone you miss that isn't here anymore, they've passed on, talk to them, communicate with them, because it is received. We'll talk about that in another live stream maybe, but that it is absolutely received by them. It's energy. So you can have conversations, continue having conversations with your loved ones that are not here, continue the energy, do whatever you need to do. Okay, so lots of love. See you tomorrow.